A viral video portraying our days in jelly beans. Give or take, we each get about 28,000 jelly beans, each jelly bean representing a day. The video, which millions of people have seen, I believe, is a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Deceptive? Perhaps the message that you took out of seeing that video that really shows we spend a lot of our time doing mundane things. Thousands of jelly beans sleeping, thousands of jelly beans commuting, going to work, preparing food, taking care of other people. Oh, it's all so mundane. And the punchline of the video is, hey, you only have a few jelly beans left. What are you going to do with your jelly beans? I know. I'll make a bucket list. I'll travel to Italy. Oh, I want to go through Tuscany and just eat my way through the risotto there is absolutely amazing. I know. I'll call up Tim McGraw and we'll go skydiving and spend 3 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of my jelly beans. I think that's a lie. I think that is just a lie from the world system. Here's a syllogism you can take to the bank. The devil is a liar and the father of lies. The devil is in charge of the world system. Therefore, the world system is a lie. What is the world system? It's not this stuff. It's not the things of this world or the highways or the internet. The world system is a worldly, godless way to look at the way things operate and run and should be done. What is truth? What is a lie? What is valuable? What is not? The devil is the author of the world system, and the world system says, hey, make sure that your days are filled with exciting things, otherwise you're wasting your jelly beans. I don't think that's biblical. I would like to suggest to you the message of the jelly bean video should be, here it is. Are you ready? Life is mundane. Life is boring, and it is supposed to be. You say, hey, wait a second, that doesn't sound very exciting at all. But Solomon, who was still to date the wisest man in the world, it's not Richard Dawkins. Wow, there's an understatement for you. Solomon said, vanity, vanity, all is vanity. Now, I looked up the Hebrew word for all, and it means all. Solomon goes about the business then of listing all of the things that are just worthless, vanity, fleeting, not worth anything, lasting or enduring or eternal. He lists, give or take, about 10 things, depending on how you want to catalog them. But he puts work, hey, being successful, having a lot of lands, servants, people to wait on you hand and foot, music and arts. He said it's all vanity. Food, vanity. Everything that this world has to offer, it's just vain. It is worth nothing. Now, maybe you're saying, that is really pessimistic. That is just a big old drag is what that is. Is that the message from the wisest man in the world? And that's part of the message until you get to the last 2 verses of the book of Ecclesiastes, verse 13 and 14. This is the end of the thing, he said. Fear God and obey his commandments. That is the end of the book of Ecclesiastes. So what do you do with that? Because it seems kind of judgmental and even gloomy. It's what brings everything into right perspective. If you're pursuing stuff, you're going to work, it's vanity. If you're enjoying food and wine, it's all vanity. If you're raising your kids, it's all vanity unless you're doing it for the Lord. And if you're doing it for the Lord, fearing God and obeying his commandments, then it has eternal significance, and it brings about that trademarked word, purpose to your life. The world system says life is only fun, life is only interesting when you're doing really cool stuff, when your jelly beans are they're the speckled ones. Ooh, those are the only good jelly beans. The working, sleeping, helping other people, those are a waste of your jelly beans. You got to be having some really zesty jelly beans. That's the message of the world system. The message of the Bible is life is mundane, but there can be joy, and there can be fulfillment, and there can be satisfaction in each and every jelly bean when you're doing it for the Lord. Just think about the joy and the liberty that this brings to us. Instead of feeling like, oh, I'm not as interesting as people on Entertainment Tonight. Nobody ever writes or talks about me. Vanity, it's all vanity. But if you are folding another bucket of laundry and you're doing it for the Lord, then guess what? You have purpose and you have a sense of doing something that actually has eternal significance. Folding another bucket of laundry has eternal significance when you're doing it for the Lord. The world system brings a burden and this depression, and no wonder why so many people are depressed and angry these days and popping pills, because the world system is lying. Exciting jelly beans. Make sure your jelly beans are really, really cool. Otherwise, what are you doing with your life? Along comes God and says, life is mundane. Oh, sure, I sprinkle it with some nice things along the way that kind of break the tedium of the daily grind, but they're not the things of the world. It's more like things like going to church, hearing great preaching, reading the Word, anniversaries, birthdays, baptisms. Those are the things that are, oh, that's a nice break and a joyful thing. The world system doesn't offer those delights. Instead, it puts a yoke and a burden on you, and along comes the Bible and says, enjoy each and every day doing what you're doing, completing the assignment that God has given to you because it has value, it has meaning, because you are doing it for Him. So may I ask you, how are your jelly beans? Have you perhaps purchased the lie that your bin of jelly beans is just not very exciting? Ronald Reagan would never put it on his desk in the Oval Office. Your jelly beans are not fantastic at all. Or do you have a biblical perspective that whatever you are doing, it is God's assignment? Ephesians 2, the works that He has prepared for you in advance, you are doing. How do I know you're doing the works that have been prepared for you in advance? Because you're doing them. And even if the world system looks at them and says, oh, God says, well done, and I am well pleased, if you are doing it for Him.